My name is Brian Sawyer. I'm the Director of Special Events at the Gloria Gemma Breast Cancer Resource Foundation. We started the Our Heroes fashion show back in 2008 and was actually done by a group of Providence College students. And we at the foundation actually helped them promote this event at Kirkbrake Country Club for a small intimate group of about 100 people. And that is where we kind of saw the magic of how the survivors felt going out into the runway and becoming part of the show, part of the stars. And now we are over at the Rhodes on the Patuxent, where each year the focus is not the fashions themselves, it's the actual survivor that's in it. We want them to be the main person, the kind of centerpiece of the event.
My name is Vanessa Sebastian, and I was diagnosed with invasive breast cancer in January of 2011. And it was a complete shock to me. I had no first-degree relative. I was genetically tested negative, and I have no really family history. And I was diagnosed with invasive breast cancer. I was working as a certified registered nurse anesthetist in the operating room. And I was working specifically for a plastic surgeon who specialized in breast reconstructive surgery for breast cancer patients. And so the irony to all of this is during my diagnosis, I'm treating, cancer patients. I'm treating breast cancer patients.
My name is Nicole Bourget. I was first diagnosed in September of 2002, and then I was re-diagnosed in June of 2004. I had a 13-year-old daughter who was just starting high school, and I had a 4-year-old son. I've been living in Coventry for about 5 years, and I had felt something, and I really didn't think it was anything, but I knew it didn't belong there. So I went from being very carefree, very involved with my kids, to being told I had cancer at 31. People will say that if you find breast cancer or a lump or some sort, it usually starts off like it feels like a small pea. Depending on where that is on your body, that could be true. I was showering. I was literally in the shower like this, washing, and I was very fortunate that the lump was literally on the outer part of my breast, near my armpit. Granted, that's a pretty scary thought. It's near your lymph nodes, but because of where it was positioned, I did feel it, and it did feel like a small pea. And it was hard. I did have lumpy cystic breast, so I thought that maybe, it probably was some type of pus pocket or anything. Women in my family have had lumps removed over time. So I really didn't think anything of it. Every time I had a menstrual period, my breasts would always change. They'd always altered. But this time it was different. It did feel very formed. It felt hard. So I knew I had to have it checked out. But I really didn't focus on anything serious. It's just, okay, they'll just, whatever it is, take it out. Maybe it's a pimple, ingrown hair. Those were the things that went through my head.
My first augmentation I had in, I want to say 1998. And it was just prior to getting married. I got married in 2000. And obviously I did it for aesthetic reasons. I did it to look good, to feel good. It's a body image thing. And I loved them. Then I went through in vitro fertilization. My husband and I tried to conceive and couldn't. So I went through IVF, which is loads of hormonal treatments, lots of estrogen and progesterone that I was injecting into my body. And we did 4 cycles. And one of my implants popped, which is not unheard of. So I actually had my implants redone in 2010 because it's not like you can walk around with a deflated implant forever.
As the event grows, it becomes bigger and bigger, but the main part of the Our Heroes fashion show is to keep it centered on the survivors themselves. As big as the event gets, with the more people that come in to watch the event, we really want to make sure that each model feels that they're special as they go out onto the stage, even coming into the day of, doing the hair, doing the makeup. Being pampered is the best thing, and really getting in there and making them feel good about what they're about to do.
My name is Isabel Story, and I'm a licensed mental health clinician. And I do groups for many, many years now for women with cancer and also for couples. where cancer sort of has invaded their lives. When I was going through grad school, going back and getting my master's in holistic counseling, actually, one of my colleagues was looking for someone to do groups for women with breast cancer. And I said, oh my gosh, I would love to do that. And over time, then Gloria, Gemma, and Maria Gemma, became involved and asked me if I would come up and do groups for them as well. And, it's been over 7 years now, and I see some of the same women, amazing, remarkable heroes, filled with resilience and courage and determination, to make a difference. In particular, in the groups, that we have. The women come to support one another. They could be newly diagnosed. They could be going through treatment, or they could have completed their treatment and are 5 years out. But they come back not only for themselves, but others. They call it sort of giving back. I want to give back to the people. I've gotten so much, and they never thought in a million years that cancer would give them, the millions of gifts that it has given to them and the blessings. Now, is it all roses? No, of course not. There's, a tough road, there's a tough journey, but I think when you do it with the support of others, it's a big deal.
My husband normally goes to all of my doctor's appointments with me, and interestingly enough, he did not come to this doctor's appointment because I had just thought, it was just, the edge of my implant, and actually my doctor thought that it was the edge of the implant as well. I had to convince him to allow me to get a mammogram because I was under 40. When I was there, the radiologist came in and said, we need to do a mammogram.
So when I was diagnosed, it was coming on our 5-year wedding anniversary. He was with me when I was told I had cancer, when they confirmed. And talking through the treatment, he was supportive. His family did not have any health issues for the most part, his immediate family. So he really had a very difficult time handling this.
You need to get a surgeon immediately. And you need to get this removed immediately. It's definitely invasive. And he said to me, it's a spiculated tumor. So of course, what do? You have smartphones. I'm Googling spiculated tumor while I'm in the, x-ray department, and invasive cancer comes up all over the place.
When she got diagnosed, she went into survival mode. And she went on the internet and read everything. And what I was doing is trying to turn her away from it because she was putting too much focus on it.
He did go with me the first time I went through my chemo treatments. He went to 3 out of the 4 treatments. But he was a pacer, and it would drive me nuts. He would go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, and was just very, very anxious.
People want to fix things, they want to take the cancer away, take the pain away. And again, cancer is not who you are, it's something that you have. And so in sharing the journey with someone who might have cancer, you can't take the pain away and you can't fix it. And so sometimes, one might become helpless and frustrated, and how do I do this?
So when I lost my hair, that was very difficult for him. Didn't want to shave his head, and that hurt me a lot. Friends and family were shaving their head just to show support. And I wouldn't have cared so much if he would have said, I'll shave it for you if you want me to, and I would have said no. He was flat out no. And the way he said it, it just stung. It hurt. You're supposed to be my husband. My treatment, I had 7 surgeries in 2.5 years. I had a lumpectomy, my first lumpectomy with a sentinel node. First surgery, they came back, didn't have clean margins. Of course, it was devastating because I want this out of my body. I have to have a lumpectomy again the following month. Again, they came back. We don't have clean margins. So I elected to have a bilateral mastectomy. I chose the left one was not cancer, there wasn't any cancer in my left breast, but I knew my anxiety was too great, so I chose to do that. I wanted to be just as aggressive as I was told my cancer was.
They need to get out there, get back out there, get on the stage, and really get that warm feeling as the crowd's cheering them on walking down the runway. And it really is one of those things where we've had a number of people that get scared week of leading in, and it's our job to really kind of get them to calm down, and they can do it. Anybody can do it.
Hi, I'm Lisa Bruno. I'm a professional photographer and I volunteer for the Gloria Gemma Breast Cancer Resource Foundation. You know, when you're my age, okay, people seem to think we start losing it. So I started my boudoir by 64 degrees, specifically for women over 35, because we still have it. Maria saw what I was doing and she said, you know, we'd love to do something for Gloria Gemma Breast Cancer Resource Foundation for sensuality after breast cancer. So we're having an upcoming exhibit. We're shooting almost 20 women. Well, Nicole is an inspiration to anybody who has breast cancer. She's an inspiration to anybody, whether you've had breast cancer or you haven't. She works out, she works, she takes care of her family. She came down in here, she had everything with her. And we knew right then it was going to be a party while we were doing the shoot. And she got right into it.
When it recurred, he was very angry. He was with me again that morning because he literally looked at the doctor and said, you sliced her, you cut her up, and it still came back. But I would not allow him to come to treatment with me. And he was very angry about that. He's like, you have so many treatments this time, why can't I go with you? And I said, because you make me nervous. You pace and you stress me out. Like, this is difficult enough as it is. It wasn't his fault. That's just how he handled things. But it wasn't good for me. And I know he was angry with me about that.
It's a way of sharing a journey but not being the boss of it, because the woman herself has to be the boss of what it is that she does in her life as far as what is going to be the right way to take care of this cancer in her body. She has to be the one that feels comfortable with it. And it's not a one-size-fits-all. It's very, very different for every single woman.
My son was 4. My son thought it was cool for me to rock a bald head. Every time I went to the hospital, he thought, or anyone went to the hospital, he thought they had cancer. Because every time I went to the hospital, the word cancer was always mentioned.
Our daughter is 22, and so I was very, very scared. I'm very close to her, so I was very scared about how she would react. And we actually talked to her about it, talked to her together. She cried, we all cried. We assured her that I was going to be okay and that I was going to get the best treatment that I possibly could, and that, you know, ultimately I was going to be okay. I wanted to assure her.
My daughter, on the other hand, was 13, and she was 15. Her whole high school career, she'll tell you, just like that, was cancer, mom having cancer. Her friends wouldn't come over because they thought they would catch something. And we were having a conversation about friends coming over because my son now is that age in the sense that he's in high school. So we were talking about friends. And I don't know why it came up, but she mentioned, I said, yeah, you never had any friends over. And that's when she finally admitted it to me, that, Mom, they won't come over here. They're afraid they're going to catch something. And I looked at her and I said, what? What does that mean? And to me, the first thought in my mind was, first of all, they're high school kids, you know, but their parents, there's that much ignorance out there to really feel that way. It's not like I'm coughing on you. It's, you know, if anything, I'm going to get sick if you come into my house. It's not the other way around.
Telling my daughter was probably the most difficult because she was young. You know, she didn't understand. I mean, everybody knows what breast cancer is, but what's going to happen down the road? And the thing is that we need to help mommy build her confidence back up within herself. Because when any dramatic, you know, life-changing information or diagnosis come about for anybody, the most important thing is to build them up. Be there, supporting them, making sure that, you know, we have her back on this.
We had come home from the doctor when I was told my cancer had recurred. She was at school. And I remember sitting in the car, calling my mother, and saying, I can't tell anybody it is cancer. She knew that I couldn't tell Kristen. She knew how difficult that was. So this summertime was June, and I remember sitting outside with my feet in our pool. My son was out with us as well. We have an in-ground pool, just sitting outside. My back was to her, and she came home, and she opens up the slider to come outside, and all she had to do was look at my face. And she just said no. And I said, yeah, Kristen, it came back. And she just left. So when she had come home I can't remember if it was that night or the next morning. I don't remember. I'm very foggy about that. I just remember I was just so anxious when she was going to come home. That's all. I'm like, how am I going to talk about this with her? Because we're going to have to talk about it. She's 15. I can't hide any of this. She knows what to expect. And I said, Kristen, this is what's going to happen. I'm going to have surgery again. And she's like, Mom, you already had a mastectomy. You've already had implants put in. How can it come back? You've already had chemo. I said, it came back. So she goes, well, this means you're going to die. And I said, I hope not. You know, I'm going to fight as hard as I can. I don't think it's my time right now. I'm going to fight.
It's like, she's been hit by a ton of bricks on one day. So you had to go into a sort of a mode to say, hey, it's going to be all right. We'll get through it. We'll, give it to God, sort of. And that's what we did.
I had already had my breast removed, and that was already difficult enough. But then having the hysterectomy, and I can't even take estrogen. But I made a comment one night. I said, well, I don't understand if you wanted to be with someone else because I'm not whole. I'm not real anymore. That's how I looked upon myself because of the surgery, that I am not a woman anymore. I know I am, but I didn't feel that way. The sensations were gone. And he, at that time, said he was very angry with me. But then after that, come to find out, he was doing that after that. And I remember sitting there, and all I needed from him was just validation that he still loved me for who I was. It was different. And I needed someone to be patient with me, someone to make me feel that I'm still a woman. Well, the counseling that we went through was when he wanted to get a divorce. He actually looked at me and said to me, I didn't ask for this. And I remember when I was going through treatment, I was watching many women talk about how their husbands left them because they couldn't deal with it. And I put my husband on a pedestal. I'm like, he's here, he's there, he's doing everything. He would clean, he would cook, everything. And then come to find out, he was having affairs behind my back, whatever reason. Like I said, no marriage is perfect, but you can't have a decent marriage if there are 3 people in it. And that's what happened. And he literally looked at me after he told me he wanted a divorce, that he didn't sign up for this, that he didn't ask for me to have cancer, and that he couldn't deal with it anymore. And I wasn't trying to pretend it was great. I mean, going through it, you do wear a mask. You're trying to make everybody around you feel better because you don't want the pity look. You don't want someone going, oh, I'm so sorry. And if you don't know what to say, I'd rather someone say, you know what, I really don't know what to say. I respect that because I don't know what I would say. What do you say? It's really hard to find the right words. The best thing to do to go up to someone is just hug them and let them know, you know what, I'm here for you. And that's all that needs to be done. So that was very, very, very difficult for me, where he was concerned, and him saying that as his reason for leaving.
Shooting the scars. For the sensuality shoot, yeah, we're shooting the scars. They're battle scars. And they're part of the woman. They're not going to go away. That's who they are. So the scars are important in this shoot. If I am shooting another woman that has had breast cancer or is battling breast cancer, it's her choice to show her scars or not. I always say you should because that's who you are.
I initially competed for Mrs. Connecticut America in 2010, and I placed 4th runner-up to Shelley Carbone. And so placing 4th runner-up, I thought, I'm not going to do this again. I went into it to win it. I don't think I had the right attitude. I was very competitive, and I've always been very competitive in my life, and I really, really wanted to win. I didn't care about anything else. And so in 2011, I was considering running again, but about 4 weeks prior to the competition, I was diagnosed with invasive breast cancer. It was at that point I decided to really focus on my health and my family and my wellness and not do the pageant. And then 2012 rolled around, and I had been through a year I had my lumpectomy, And then I had radiation. I moved to Boston for 7 weeks and had radiation treatment. And after that, after I was healed from that, I decided, I want to do this. And I want to do this for different reasons now. The first time I did it because I was so competitive. And in 2012, I really did it for me. I did it so that I could be a better person. And after all that I had been through, I really wanted to inspire and motivate other women and let them know that, you can have a diagnosis like invasive breast cancer and there is life after it. There's actually a great life. It has opened up so many doors for me. And I've been able to actually get out there and really advocate on behalf of other women and inspire and motivate them. But initially, when I decided to compete, I really just wanted to be a better me. And I remember going on the stage before evening gown, and I remember looking up and saying something that my interview coach at the time had shared with me. And he said, after all that you've been through, you need to just be grateful for the moment. Just be grateful that you are there, because a year ago, your life was so different. And I thought, he's absolutely right. And so I remember prior to going on the stage, looking up and just saying, thank you. Thank you for this opportunity. I felt grateful. And apparently I looked graceful because a lot of people said that I just kind of glided across the stage. And when I came out, they knew that I was the winner. So the second time when I won, I did it for different reasons. And that's when I won.
I'm Melissa Paolo-Corcoran. This is my mom, Elaine Paolo, and we work with the Mrs. Rhode Island America, Mrs. Connecticut America system, and we got involved with the Gloria Gemma Foundation last year at the fashion show. Our reigning Mrs. Connecticut is a breast cancer survivor, so she was in the fashion show last year. So we came to support her, and we were so inspired by everything that was going on there that we decided that we needed to get involved. You haven't been in their shoes, so you don't know what it's like if you are a woman who has lost either one or both breasts to breast cancer, and how that would actually feel losing something that is part of your femininity. And I think that it's extremely important for us to be supportive and loving, and also let them know that they still are beautiful.
I think it's really important to get involved locally with your foundations, and for me it was very important with Gloria Gemma, and they actually took me in with open arms, welcomed me, and have made me feel completely like part of their family, and my husband as well. I think it's really important because I think a lot of, I'm in Connecticut, they're in Rhode Island, but we are so close. I always say it's our sister state, but I think it's important because there are a lot of friends that I have that are across the state border, some in Connecticut, some in Rhode Island, that still are able to actually reap the rewards and of the programs that they have at Gloria Gemma. They have the Hope Bus, which travels around and really educates people about the importance of early detection. So I think it's really important because you actually can see the impact of the work that you do, and you can see the rewards of it as well. I know that being involved with that, I've met so many women, and just even being able to share my story and them sharing their story with me, we in turn impact each other and have a positive influence on each other's lives. So I think that it's very important to get involved with local organizations.
Getting involved, it's finally that last chip that I had on my shoulder is gone. My body images, issues that I had, they're gone. Not saying that I don't look at myself and I don't have my reminders. They're important because they're the roadmaps that have gotten me to where I am today. And I'm grateful for them. I don't like them, but I'm grateful for them because I know because of them, I wake up every day.
We kind of look at our bodies as our temple, and we figure that our bodies go through so much torture and toxins and all the things that we go through that it's hard to see your body for what it's worth. And I think right now I'm getting back to my healthy self as best as possible, even though I'm still going through treatment. And seeing myself in a different light, it's been hard because that surgery is there, and I feel I actually want to go in for plastic surgery because I still don't feel correct with everything that was done, and I know my surgeon did a wonderful job, and I'm not blaming him, but the disease kind of leaves you with certain scars and certain ailments that you feel like you need to fix just so you can be proud of what you are. It doesn't make me who I am. I am who I am, and I'll always be. I'm not saying that you should be superficial or not. Like I told someone, it's your decision on what you want to do with your body. Ultimately, it's your body.
You know, you go through treatment and you have lost your hair, you have body image issues, and you don't feel well. And now we're going to put you on the stage and get your hair and makeup done and put on this beautiful dress to celebrate who you are, celebrate what you've gone through. And this is what they're saying is the main reason why we put on the fashion show year after year. And each woman gets off the stage and says, I can't believe I did that.
And the biggest work that needs to be done is reconnecting to the essence of who a person is. And that's why when we look at the fashion show, for example, and we look at the celebration of life, and we look at the triumph of, you know, all of the women who have gone through this and who have had the courage and the determination to kind of keep going, even on the days where, you know, they never thought it might be possible to keep going. And then they're willing to stand up in front of family and friends and celebrate who they are. It's just the reconnection of the whole being to the spirit and soul of who a person is. And so the fashion show is one of the greatest gifts, I think, that can be given to women. Is it for everyone who has gone through breast cancer? No. But it is for those who choose to do so, just a resilience of the beauty of who they are, not only physically, but spiritually and mentally.
There's not many pictures of me. There's a reason for that. I don't like them. For me to be a part of the calendar, the fashion show, any type of commercial interview, getting awareness out for young women, letting you know you're not alone, is big for me. My kids reminded me after I got sick that I needed to have more pictures. They need memories of me. So I've been better about it. So this is a big deal because it's not easy.
Don't worry.